Okay, so I always say that I ride everything the same and train everything the same, whether it's English or Western. And I think a lot of people don't buy into that. They think there has to be some difference between an English horse and a Western horse other than the tack. So we have enlisted the help of Bud as our English horse to show that we do the same thing with him that we do with a Western pleasure horse or reining horse or whatever. I'm trying to get them around their backs, drive up under themselves, elevate their shoulders, stay soft in their face. So Bud doesn't jump, but he is a hunter under saddle horse. His registered name is on M5. He has over 100 AQHA points. So we'll ride him around here a little bit and just show the difference. And you'll notice I still have my Western saddle. Most of us around here that train hunter under saddle horses also ride them in Western tack. And then when they go to the shows, they show under English tack. Driving forward. So as I warm my horses up, I just go through a pre-flight check to make sure I got all the parts. I'll bump my leg on them, make sure they're soft in their ribs. I'll hold their face a little bit, then relax that jaw. Get them to step up, round their shoulders up. You can see if they don't round their shoulders, if they hang on a bit, then they're not picking up their shoulders. And then I don't have as much control. So here he's not really picking up the shoulders and stepping into the bit. There, he did better. So what I'll do is whenever they don't do that, I just really hold onto their face and just keep pecking on them with my spur until they step up. And so instead of seesawing on their face or pulling really hard on their face, I'm trying to get them to soften more in the ribs. So I'm driving them from my leg to my hand rather than pulling with my hands and trying to bring him back. There we go. Now he's elevating the shoulder more. You see his neck gets softer, the head gets lower, the back is rounder, and he's starting to close this angle between his abdomen and his hind legs, or shorten the distance from his nose to his hind legs. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to lengthen on top, shorten underneath. A little better to the left, and on the left side of the drive, with the left jaw, talking with his left foot, and softness here in his neck here in a second. Going to elevate his back behind the withers. There you go. So instead of elevating his neck, he's elevating his back. To hold that and pick up a trot. So we make all our hunt seat horses do a soft trot so we can hold them and get them collected up before we let them go out on a smooth trot. And again, I'll do some lateral work here with them, get them softer in the rib. Keep that off for a couple of months so he hasn't been up in show shape. Turned out every day, so we're just going to get him back thinking like a show horse again. So without the collection, his trot's kind of up and down. It's a little choppy. See, you want to bow his neck up, these will shorten his neck. So I'm trying to lengthen that neck. There we go. And I'll let that nose out. And then we'll extend that trot. So we just hold their face and press with that foot, getting them to move laterally. You don't have to be pulling them around by their heads. Around here, if you're showing a hunter and a saddle horse, pull it around by his head, and it turns, you're way, way, way behind the game. But again, it's all about driving the horse's hind end up, getting him to elevate behind the withers. We'll get him to canter here. We'll show you the same thing at the canter that happened with a pleasure horse or a reining horse. See here, if he gets stiff in his neck, his head's going to come up. I'm just going to push him more with my leg. Get him to elevate his shoulders. There you go. Soften his neck. And get it better underneath. Again, I can slow him down just by pushing him more. And the softer he gets right here in this area, the slower he'll go. And then just by letting him back out, he's right back in. Back up in his neck, back. We can get slower. But this is all happening because he lets me push him from my leg to my hands. When I push him with my leg, he lifts here under my seat instead of just lifting here. So he picks up his shoulder and rounds. It just gives him that much more control. And we do the same thing with a jumping horse. Give us that same control over that jumping horse. So coming to a fence, we can take hold of that horse and adjust its stride so that it leaves at the correct time. We can push him over the fence and get more power in that hind quarter so they jump rounder and more collected. To me, a jumping horse should be no different from just a hunter under saddle horse, only having fences that it has to go over. The difference between just a common horse and the big fancy horses is this roundness, this willingness to pick up and round. And give you a better shot at your application because it's going to make things more exact. There he's going to sit on his neck.